got the sound now. You're awfully quiet while I cry out for you.
Hi everyone and welcome to Pattern by Boikova. I'm Anastasia and today I'm excited to show you how to sew a timeless aligned tweed skirt with a fitted waistband that beautifully defines the waist. The skirt is elegant yet practical, light and graceful for warm days, or perfect with a cozy sweater on a winter day. Along the way I'll share professional finishing techniques that will make your skirt durable and flawless inside and out. And of course, for this project I will be using Adelina sewing pattern, which comes with a printable PDF and details step-by-step photo instructions. Everything you need to follow along and sew the skirt with me. You'll find the link in the description. Before we start, let's take a look at the materials you'll need. Tweed fabric. I chose a boucle tweed with sequins. The fabric is light and soft, so I reinforced it with the interfacing. You can also choose other medium weight fabric like twill or wool. Fusible interfacing, a zipper with the matching thread, lining fabric, and a 1.5 cm wide fusible stay tape. Before working with the fabric, it's important to pre-shrink it. More details on this process are included in the written instruction. If you're using a loosely woven fabric, I recommend fusing the entire fabric before cutting to prevent fraying and distortion of the grain. If your main fabric is dense and stable, it's sufficient to interface only the waistband after cutting. Next, lay out all the pattern pieces according to the layout plan and cut out all the parts. Cut the lining 4 cm shorter than the main skirt. There is a line on the pattern to help you with this. You can cut along it or simply fold the edge. Transfer the notches and other markings. Then cut a piece of fusible stay tape to the needed length and fuse it along the zipper insertion line. Make sure that the zipper seam will sit exactly over the tape. Overlock the edges of the front and back pieces of the main fabric from the right side. This will help to prevent fraying. Next, mark a dart lines using a tailor's chalk or a fabric marker. Fold each dart along the marked line with the right sides together and pin in place. Stitch each dart from the base to the tip, securing the seam with back stitches at both ends. Use a 2.5 mm stitch length. Press the darts but do not press beyond the tip. This helps reduce bulk. Press the darts on the front pieces towards the center and on the back pieces towards the center back seam. If a bubble forms at the tip of the dart, use steam to gently press it flat. If your fabric has a print, mark the pattern matching point on the back pieces using chalk or a fabric marker. Place the back pieces right sides together. Match the notches, pin along the center back seam, and stitch from the notch down to the hem. Backstitch at the beginning and the end of the seam to secure it. Press the seam flat, and then press the seam allowance open. Place the front and back pieces right sides together. Match the notches and pin along the side seams. Stitch the side seams, securing the stitches with the back stitching at the beginning and the end. Press the seams flat and then press the seam allowances open. Fold the waistband in half lengthwise, wrong sides together, and press. Then slightly steam shade the fold into a gentle curve. This helps the waistband sit smoothly along the waistline. Place the waistband along the top edge of the skirt, right sides together. Match the notches and pin in place. Stitch the waistband to the skirt, backstitching at the beginning and the end to secure the seam. Press the seam flat. Then press the seam allowances open to reduce bulk. Trim the seam allowance down to 1 to 1.5 cm, stopping 2 mm before the seam line. Pre-shrink the zipper seam with steam before attaching it, to avoid shrinkage in the finished garment. Fully unzip the zipper and place it right sides together with one seam allowance of the center back seam. The plastic stopper should be positioned 2 mm below the waistband fold. At the top, fold the zipper tape at 45-degree angle and pin the zipper to the seam allowance. Stitch one side of the zipper on the sewing machine, down to the point where the center back seam begins, using an invisible zipper foot. Backstitch in the beginning and the end of the seam. Zip up the zipper and mark the second zipper tape with charcoal fabric marker so that the waistband seams will match. Unzip the zipper. Place the second side of the zipper right sides together with the seam allowance of the center back seam. Pin the zipper to the seam allowance and hand baste it 3 mm from the zipper teeth. Zip up the zipper and check that the waistband seams align. Now fully unzip the zipper. Stitch the second side zipper starting from the center back seam, backstitching at the beginning and the end of the seam. Check that the waistband seams match and remove the basting stitches. Zip up the zipper. Top stitch the zipper tape to the seam allowances of the center back seam, from the joining seam of the back pieces down to the plastic stopper. Sewing 2 mm from the free edge of the zipper tape. Backstitch in the beginning and the end. Seam press the zip area. Along the hemline, draw a guideline at a distance equal to twice the hem allowance. For example, our hem allowance is 4 cm, so the line will be 8 cm from the hem. Fold the hem allowance up to the guideline and press it to the wrong side. Let's move on to the lining. On the lining pieces, fold the darts right sides together along the markings and pin them in place. Stitch each dart on the sewing machine from the base to the tip, backstitching in the beginning and the end. Press the darts without going beyond the tip. On the front pieces, press the darts towards the center. On the back pieces, press them towards the center back seam. Place the back pieces right sides together. Match the notches. Pin along the center back seam and stitch from the notch down to the hem. Backstitching in the beginning and the end of the seam. Press the center back seam and then press the seam allowances open. Place the front and back pieces right sides together. Match the notches, pin the side seams and stitch them. Backstitching in the beginning and the end of each seam. Press the seam allowances towards the back. Place the lining and waistband right sides together. Align the notches, pin in place. And stitch the waistband to the lining, backstitching at the beginning and the end of the seam. Press the seam allowance towards the lining. Place the lining over the skirt so that the zipper is sandwiched between them. Align the center back edges, pin in place, and match the waistband seams. Using a single-sided zipper foot, stitch 3 mm from the zipper teeth. From the waistband, fold down to the zipper pull. Then zip up the zipper and stitch from the point where you stop to the center back seam of the lining. Backstitch in the beginning and the end of the seam. Next, stitch 3 mm from the zipper teeth on the other side, from the center back seam of the lining up to the zipper pull. Unzip the zipper and stitch from the point where you stop to the waistband fold. Check that the corners of the waistband align. At the corner of the center back seam, trim the seam allowances diagonally, stopping 2 mm before the stitching line. Turn the lining to the right side and press. From the wrong side, secure top and bottom parts of the waistband together by stitching through them at the darts and side seams. Pin the lower edge of the lining to the lower edge of the skirt. First at the side seams and the center back seam. Then along the entire hemline. Stitch along the hemline on the sewing machine, 1 cm from the raw edge, leaving a 10 to 15 cm opening. Backstitch in the beginning and the end of the seam. Turn the garment right side out. Arrange the lining, pin it in place. And press. Sew the opening closed with a slip stitch as follows. Thread the needle and tie a knot. Insert the needle under the seam allowance from the wrong side so the knot is hidden in the fold. Then pierce the fabric and pull the thread through. Next, insert the needle into the folded edge on the opposite side, at a right angle to the previous stitch, and take a 2 to 4 mm stitch. Repeat the same stitch on the other side. Continue alternating sides until the opening is closed. Tie a knot to finish. Hand stitch the lining hem allowance to keep it from flipping out. Insert the needle 1 mm from the seam that joins the lining to the main fabric. Then insert 1 mm to the right of the thread. Catch an only tiny bit of fabric to hold the hem in place, but without going through the outside so the stitches stay invisible. Bring the needle 5 mm to the left and pull the thread through. Repeat this process until the entire hem allowance is secured. Tie a knot to finish. And then press the lining ease fold. This extra fold gives the lining some room, so it won't pull the skirt when you move. And here it is, our skirt is finished. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. You can download the Adelina pattern from the link in the description. And for all my beginner sewers, stay tuned. Very soon I'll be releasing the Mirabella dress tutorial, which is perfect if you're just starting out. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon.
People come and people go.